Once again, the keeper of the book is ready to unlock the ponderous volume of which is recorded all the secrets and mysteries of all mankind through the ages, all the lore and learning of the ancients, all the strange and mystifying stories of the past, the present, and the future. Keeper of the book, what story will you tell us this time?
I must unlock the great padlock that keeps the sealed book from prying eyes. Now what story shall I tell you? I have here tales of every kind, tales of murder and madness, of dark deeds and other events strange beyond our belief. Well, now let me see here. Here's a tale for you, a dark story of two brothers. One of them killed because he could not help himself. The other one was interested in murder too, but in a different way. The title of the tale is The Hands of Death. Here is the tale as is written in the sealed book. It began in San Francisco on a night of thick, suffocating fog. A young man hurrying homeward. Homeward bound, he turns a corner and bumps abruptly into a huge figure striding towards him.
Excuse me. The fog is so thick, I didn't see you here.
That's all right. Tell me, do you live here? Here in San Francisco?
Yes, I do.
Do you know where Edward Morlock lives now?
No, I've never heard of him. Now, if you'll just excuse me.
Oh, wait.
I really do have to get home.
I just want a light from your cigarette.
Oh, of course. I'll hold it for you.
Yeah, just hold it like that.
Oh, my God!
Oh, what is it? What's the matter?
Oh, nothing. It's nothing.
It's my hands. They frighten you.
No.
It's my hands.
It's
They disgusted you.
No.
They frightened you because they're not like everybody else's hands.
No, I assure you. Let go of me. Let go.
I'm
You're
not
crazy.
Do you hear?
You-
I'll show you.
You're-
I'll show you.
Extra, read all about it. Phantom Strangler in San Francisco. Extra, read all about it.
So, the Phantom Strangler is at work in San Francisco. Jennings will be interested in hearing that.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Morlock.
Oh, yes, Jennings.
A package just arrived, sir.
A package? Give it to me.
Of course, sir.
Now, wheel me over to the window.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's close enough, Jennings. This package, you may have noticed, comes from one of my agents in New York. Perhaps you can take a guess as to what's in it.
No, sir. But I have no doubt that it's another nice addition to your collection of objects having to do with famous murders.
Indeed, you're right. A very nice addition. But now, speaking of murders, have you seen this morning's San Francisco paper yet?
Why, no, sir, I haven't.
Well, then look at these headlines. Read them to me out loud.
Playboy murdered in fog. Phantom Strangler breaks victim's neck. He's back. Your brother Kane is back.
Yes, and he's back in San Francisco. He's looking for me.
And he'll keep looking for you. And if he finds you, he'll kill you.
That's right. He's dedicated his whole life to that purpose. And all because he feels I cheated him out of his share of the money that our father left us. Oh, it's really a great pity.
Yes, sir. Of course, we know the truth.
Quite so, Jennings. And as you say, we know the truth. However, I hardly think Kane will find me here. We'll just forget about him.
Yes, sir.
Now, Jennings, tomorrow afternoon, a neighbor is dropping in for tea.
A neighbor, sir?
Yes, Inspector Cannon, the head of the local police. He's coming to view my little collection.
Of course, sir.
He may bring a friend with him, so make sure we have plenty of everything.
Yes, sir, I'll do that.
Well, that's all. That's all for now. What are you waiting for?
Excuse me, sir. I wanted to talk to you about this check you gave me yesterday, my month's salary.
Okay, well, what about it? It's for the usual $2,000, isn't it?
Why, yes, but you see, I've been thinking. In these times, I ought to have more.
More? Just how much do you consider your services worth, Jennings?
Oh, shall we say $3,000 a month?
$3,000 a month?
Oh, sir, it's quite reasonable, I think, after all. If I were to tell the authorities all I know about your father's will and how it happened, how that entire fortune came to you and none to Kane?
Never mind, Jennings. I'll make out another check.
Thank you.
But be careful you don't drive me too far, boy, or you may regret it.
Oh, I think I'll be safe enough. After all, confined to that wheelchair as you are, you need me.
That's enough. You'll get your check later.
Thank you, Mr. Morlock.
So you're getting greedy, Mr. Jennings. I must find some way to discourage you. Yes, I'll find some way to discourage you.
The next afternoon, Mr. Morlock, the strange crippled collector of murder relics, enjoyed himself thoroughly playing host to Police Inspector Cannon and Mr. Norman Smith, a criminologist. He began by showing him his latest acquisition, the one that had come by mail just the day before.
Now here, gentlemen, take a look.
Cashmere shawl.
Yes, but that's no ordinary cashmere shawl. Until last month, you see, it was owned by two very old sisters who lived in a dingy house up there in Baltimore.
In Baltimore? You mean that's the shawl?
That's right, exactly right. That's the shawl in which the two old ladies were strangled by a sneak thief.
Well, I'll be darned.
It's a prize even worthy of my own collection, which I flatter myself is the most complete of its kind ever assembled. Murder is your business. It's my hobby. Now, if you just pull back those curtains there, gentlemen, the rest of my collection is on the shelf behind them.
These curtains?
That's right.
Well, I'll be. This?
This is very interesting, Mr. Morlock.
Yes, I thought you'd think so. Look over there on the wall. There's an authentic headsman's axe. It was used in the brutal murder of Baron de Molay, an ancestor of mine, and right there is the bloodstained dress of one of the victims of the famous Jack the Ripper. All right, gentlemen, you now have the highlights of my collection. What do you think of them?
Well, if that's the sort of thing you're interested in, I'll say your collection is complete.
The inspector is right. There doesn't seem to be anything missing except perhaps a murder and a victim.
Wait a minute, what did you just say?
I said the only thing missing from your collection is a murderer and a victim.
You know, that's a most interesting thought.
Well, why not what?
Well, excuse me, I was just thinking out loud.
Well, I'm afraid I have to go now, Mr. Morlock.
Well, it's been a great pleasure having you both, gentlemen. I do hope you'll call again.
Mr. Morlock, you rang?
Yes, Jennings, I did. Before you help me up to bed, I want you to mail these letters for me. They're to major newspapers in San Francisco and they contain a message to be placed in their personal columns.
A message?
Yes, to my brother Cain. We used to communicate this way in the past. Here's a copy of the message. You can read it if you wish.
If the gentleman with the unusual hands will visit his brother in Santa Villa, he will learn something to his advantage? You're inviting him here.
Yes, indeed.
You've decided to play it safe, to trap him and turn him over to the police.
Oh, now that's very clever of you, Jennings. Yes, indeed, very clever. But you've already proved that you're clever, haven't you? Now just take these letters out and mail them like I've asked. We should be seeing my dear brother Cain again.
And now for the rest of my story. The hands of death, as it is written in the sealed book. After Edward Morlock had put into effect his plan to bring his brother Cain to him, he sat in his wheelchair and waited. One day passed, then 2, 3, and then the newspaper carried strange new headlines. Extra, extra, read all about it. Found a strangler in Los Angeles. Extra, read all about it.
Oh, well, now, so my brother Cain's in Los Angeles last night, Jennings. He's getting closer. I shouldn't be surprised if he arrived here at the house tonight.
Oh, I don't like it.
Oh, nonsense, Jennings. You know you've got nothing to fear from Cain. Unless, of course, you're stupid enough to make some kind of a remark about his hands.
Oh, I know, but he intends to kill you.
I think I can control him. I want you to bring me a glass of milk, Jennings. Cain is very fond of milk.
Glass of milk?
Yes, with a triple dose of sleeping powder in it.
But I don't understand.
Never mind. Just do what I say.
What's that?
I imagine that's Cain now.
Cain. Here already.
I'll let him in. You just get that glass of milk ready.
Yes, sir.
And bring it in when I ring. Come on in, Cain. I've unlocked the window.
Yes, I'll come in, Edward. Now that I've found you at last.
Well, I'd hardly say you found me.
It's the same thing. Now I can put my hands around your throat at last. And I'm going to kill you. Kill you.
Cain, sit down. I want to talk to you.
All right, I'll sit down. But you can't change my mind.
Now listen to me, Cain. How many people have you killed since you got out of the penitentiary?
7.
7 murders?
They looked at my hands. They were disgusted. I didn't kill them. My hands did. I didn't want to kill them, but my hands killed them anyway.
Okay, of course, I understand. Your hands. You know, your grandfather had hands like yours, Cain.
Don't talk about it anymore.
Okay, Cain, I won't. But you must be hungry. I'll just ring for Jennings. He'll fix something for you.
Yes, I am hungry.
Now, please, Cain, don't startle the poor guy. You know he's very much afraid of you.
Why? Why is he afraid of me?
It's your hands, you know. He says they give him nightmares.
My hands give him nightmares.
You must not blame him, Cain. He can't help it.
My hands give him nightmares.
Here I am, sir. I brought you a glass of milk.
Thank you, Jennings. Just put it right down here.
Yes, sir.
Why are you looking at me like that, Jennings?
I'm not looking at you, Mr. Cain.
You're looking at my hands. They upset you.
No.
They give you nightmares.
No, Mr. Cain. That's not true.
I'll show you. I'll give you a reason to be afraid of my hands.
Mr. Morlock.
I'll show you.
Help me, please.
There. That will teach you to be afraid of my hands.
You can let him go now, Cain.
He's dead. And my hands, they've killed again.
Yes, he's dead. You've been very wicked, Cain.
I didn't want to kill him. My hands did it. My hands, you hear?
You must be quiet now, Cain. You have to rest.
I say I didn't want to kill him.
All right, here, drink this milk. This'll calm you. Then lie down and rest for a while. We'll talk some more in the morning.
All right, I'll drink it.
I'll take care of everything. Don't worry. That's all right, Cain. Just lie back and sleep. Sleep soundly. So you would want to blackmail me, Jennings, and you would kill me, Kane? But I've been too clever for the both of you. Hello? Hello, police headquarters. Connect me with Inspector Cannon, please. I want to report a murder. And so you see, there you are, Inspector. Kane had been in the penitentiary, and apparently he escaped and came looking for me to try to kill me.
Good heavens, Morlock. He's the strangler who's been doing all the killings.
Yes, I'm afraid so. And I never guessed until he showed up tonight with the intent to kill me. You see, he thought I cheated him out of his inheritance. Jennings bravely came to my rescue when Kane throttled him. Then I tricked Kane into drinking some drugged milk. And there's the results.
But why? Why did he kill all these people?
Because of his hands.
His hands?
Well, yes, you saw his hands. Tremendously strong. Not hands at all, but more like demon's claws. Kane is morbidly defensive about his deformity. When he feels someone is frightened by his hands, he kills them. Just like that.
Good thing we caught him here at last.
You can take him away now, and you'll be safe. But be sure to keep him well locked up, Inspector, and don't let anybody get within reach of his hands.
A few weeks later, Kane Morlock entered the lethal chamber of the state penitentiary. Edward Morlock, the condemned man's invalid brother, was one of the few spectators. Kane Morlock, with his last breath, cursed his brother and swore that someday he would be avenged. Then he died. The following day, Inspector Cannon and his friend Norman Smith paid Edward Morlock another visit.
Well, good evening, Inspector and Mr. Smith. It's very nice to see you again. How nice of you to stop by once more.
Well, we dropped by to see how you were making out, Mr. Morlock.
Oh, I'm quite all right, thank you. You know, what must be, must be. You see, I'm a philosopher.
You have someone looking after you?
Yes, Philippe, a Filipino boy that has taken Jennings' place. Oh, that reminds me, I have something here that'll interest you.
Interest?
Yes, here on the table beside me in this jar.
A buried urn. Isn't it, Mr. Morlock?
Yes, Mr. Smith, it is a burial urn. And in this urn are the ashes of poor murdered Jennings.
You're going to keep them with you?
Oh, yes, fellas, I was very, very fond of Jennings. Very fond. What's more fitting than to keep his ashes to remind me of his many years of faithful service? Besides, I can always look upon them as part of my little collection.
Your collection?
That's right, Inspector. It was Mr. Smith here that pointed out that as complete as my collection is, it lacked only a murderer and his victim. Well, here are the ashes of the victim.
Good heavens!
A rather unique item, Mr. Morlock.
Yes, indeed. An item any collector would be proud of. But the really choice edition of my collection is here in this box which just arrived. Would you care to take a look, gentlemen?
What in the world?
You need not guess. I'll just lift the lid.
The hands of your brother Kane.
That's right.
I can't believe it.
Oh, what's so strange about it, gentlemen? These are the ashes of a murder victim. Here are the unique and terrible hands that throttled him. Where else in all the world would you find a collector that could boast such items as these?
You must be mad.
I can't believe it. Morlock, did you plan all this from the beginning?
Plan it? Mr. Smith, how could I?
You're quite mad.
We could never prove it.
You could prove absolutely nothing.
Inspector, we better go.
Yes, come on, let's get out of here before I do something that I might regret.
Come again, gentlemen. Easily upset, aren't they, Kane? Upset by your awful hands. Your great, strong hands. They're going to be the prize items of my little collection. The distorted hands of a murderer. Oh, how cold they are. I can almost still feel the murderous strength in them. You wanted so bad to close your hands around my throat, didn't you, Kane? But you see, it's too late now. You're dead. And your hands are dead, too. They're lifeless. Would you like to see how your hands look at my throat? I'll place them there for you. See how nicely they fit around my neck? Just as if... No! No! Let go of me! Your hands are choking me! Oh, I can't breathe! No!
Morlock, what is it? Where are you?
Smith, look here, on the floor. Good Lord, it's Murlock.
What happened?
No, it can't be. His brother's hands are clutched around his throat. They've strangled him.
And that is the story of the hands of death, as it is written in the sealed book. Edward Morlock was quite dead when they found him, with his brother's severed hand around his throat. But they called his death heart failure. But who would believe that two dead hands by themselves could reach the vengeance that Cain Morlock swore to have before he died? But perhaps it was heart failure. Perhaps Edward Morlock, thinking he felt the hands moved, died of pure terror. You will have to decide for yourself which is true. The answer is not written here.
KTKK, AM 630.
You've been listening to our production of The Hands of Death by the KTKK soundstage. The players tonight, Ed Morlock was portrayed by John Wilkinson. Mr. Jennings was portrayed by Craig Scott. Inspector Cannon by newcomer Ron Schultz to the soundstage. And the keeper of the book, Steve Anderson. What a part. And yours truly, Donovan, portrayed Cain Morlock. Thank you for listening.
KTKK.
Hi, everybody.